Why is Hex better than Bitcoin? Well, first of all, it's the fundamentals of the code. The fundamentals of the code are better than Bitcoin's fundamentals. The inflation model is better than Bitcoin's inflation model. The staking feature is better than a mining feature. It's new tech versus old tech. It's decentralized versus centralized. Yes, all of those things. Ahoy, crypto pirates, Hexicans, TG gang. What's happening, guys? How's everybody doing? Shout out to my boy Bullish. Hey, free Bullish. Free Bullish. Elon, you hear me? Get that out there. Free Bullish. Anyway, thanks for coming, guys. Appreciate all of you. I see lots of oranges in the chat room. Thank you to the Chain Gang for joining us. Couple things I'd like to say real quick. First of all, the captain is a pirate for a reason. I came from the dregs of society. I grew up in gang-infested neighborhoods. I played the whole game. Ended up under a bridge. So I understand what it means to be the downtrodden, the underdog, the dreg, the person who's had to pull themselves up by the bootstraps. But that's what I did. Pulled myself up from my bootstraps and became the captain of my domain. And I don't have any regrets. So I've always got mucho love, much love for the least of all of us. The dregs, the misfits, the people that have been downtrodden in society. That's why I'm here in crypto. And that's why I love each and every one of you. But here's the thing. Let's do our best. Let's do our best to be classy instead of trashy. Let's do our best to help rather than harm. Let's do our best to be better than who we are. It's okay to live in the spirit of the underdog. It's okay to reach in and grab the energy and the power from that. But please use discernment when you're out there communicating, representing, and being who you are. I know everybody's got their own mind and you're all a bunch of pirates anyway, and you're going to do what you're going to do. But remember, making the world a better place is more important than poking sticks in people's eyes. That's my 2 cents for today. Just wanted to say that. Appreciate the Tang Gang showing up and being here in force. Thank you for our mint last Friday. It was awesome. The Letheus group thanks you for helping them launch Satoshi. And also, of course, the PulseChain tour. We thank you immensely for helping us with the launch of our coupon system, whatever you might want to call it. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. All right. So without any further ado, I've got a guest coming on. This gentleman has a pedigree. This stretches deep, and we're going to get into that, I'm sure, I hope. But he launched a NFT. Now, look, the NFT marketplace in the Hexican community has been a mixed review. And I'll tell you why. If you don't know, some of you may or may not know the history of the NFT in this community. Even saying it could have had one banished from the community at one point. Even just mentioning the word NFT turned into a dirty word. Why? Because Richard, a long time ago, didn't see any utility in the NFT itself. He didn't like what it had done to Ethereum. He doesn't like the fact that it is, a JPEG loosely attached to a serial number, blah, 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 hosted by somebody on the internet that may or may not be there, blah, blah, blah. And that narrative stuck and floated around. Now, I traveled the world, meeting with Web3 folks, meeting with NFT artists here in LA at the NFT events. Been all over. These people are very passionate about what they're doing and how they're doing it. Then I watched Alex build Hedron and wrap the stakes in an NFT and create a real use case, which changed my mind at that point. And watching all the artists that were talking about how they were going to be able to take control of their own product and bring their art to the marketplace without being ripped off by middlemen. So I saw their struggles and what they wanted the NFT to be out there globally. And then I saw what Alex did. And then I seen more products that were wrapped around NFTs, for instance, like our own coupon program that had value. And I know this. I know Richard's been gone for a while and he hasn't really touched on this subject much. And it's not his subject to touch on. He really could care less about it, is kind of his take. I think he's kind of like, meh, I'm almost Switzerland on it now, but you know, guys, I don't deal with the NFT thing, whatever, blah. I got other things to do. That's kind of how I see Richard's point of view. That's just my opinion of it. And his point of view has changed on a lot of things. So we got to wait and see how Richard adjusts to all this. I know he's praised the Hedron project for what they've done and has mentioned them. So my guess is that he's kind of changed his opinion on some of them. So anyway, with that being said, I have embraced the Tang gang and their efforts because they have proven something within the Hex community that I haven't seen done yet. And my hat's off to them and their leadership because they've been able to go out and effectively market something within this community that hasn't had a good name or marketing behind it from all of us, the other, streamers and OGs and whatnot. So my hat's off. They accomplished something very, very important. So great on you guys. So I'm embracing the community a lot more. I like to see what they're doing with the marketing. I think they're brilliant. I think they're strong. I think they've got a couple of assholes in there. I think that you always going to have some sour grapes in there and some people that are going to do stupid shit. The pirates of the pirates, so to speak. But hey, we've got those all over. But I embrace those people too. Because here's the thing about those folks. And I may have called them an asshole or whatever. But see, it's those folks that I embrace the most because it's the energy level that they have that just needs to be directed properly. It's not that those guys are wrong. They're very passionate and they have a lot of energy about what it is that they think they believe in or the direction they think they should be taking themselves. But in reality, again, they're not wrong. They're full of power. They're full of passion, full of energy, all that good stuff. They're just inaccurate on their delivery and their discernment on what it is they're doing. And those are the people I want to embrace more than anything. Don't want to block them. Don't want to kick them out. Don't want to shun them. I want to show them how they can take that energy and put it into good use, because that's what I've had to do my whole life, was take all that fucked up bad energy and turn it into something good. And that's what I've done to create my kingdom that I have. You guys don't know how RG lives. You don't know what my world looks like. You don't know how good it really is. And if you took some pages out of my book, you might be able to have some of it too. I've been out in this community for 6 years trying to help you guys. It's just not some asshole old guy out here eating shit and barking at the moon trying to steal from you guys. That's not what I'm doing. See, what makes me fulfilled, makes me feel good, is doing for others. So this whole thing, this whole experiment here, this whole discourse syndicate, the movie, the companies I've built, all the things that I've launched around and on top of Hex are all because I'm giving back. I'm not taking. And I feel good about that. So my knowledge, my wisdom, what I have that I've grown through life with, I want to give back to others. So this is for all of you guys. This is what I do this. So anyway, sorry, I went on another rant before I can get my guest up here. So everybody, this is the man who has created the newest, latest, and greatest NFT that launched on through the Tang Gang, and they have he is absolutely tore it up. Let's bring him on, and I'm just going to call him Dev Drac for lack of a better name. How's it going, Dev Drac?
Hey, Captain, how's it going? Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm good. Thanks for being here, man. I guess let's go ahead and get started with, kind of your pedigree, where I don't want to dox you or just, where you come from and all that kind of stuff, but where do you come from in the tech world? What's your pedigree? What got you into programming and whatnot?
Oh wow, it's an oddball one, but it started early. I mean, I'm an '80s baby. I grew up breaking everything that my parents brought home that had an electronic circuit. You know, I thought I could turn every RC car into a helicopter. Or I think I could hook this computer to that, and so God love my parents. They're patient people, but yeah, that's where it started, man. Back in the old days of original Zelda, the gaming hook, through all the tech revolution. I've kind of grown up through it all, but yeah, I took a windy road. I started out trying to be a pilot, man, since I was like 9. I went and got a license when I was 15, and I had I had a heart thing that happened, so I couldn't continue that career. So I was in one of these, what do I do? So yeah, I landed in tech, man, and so I've got a lot of cool stories I could dig into. But yeah, that's kind of where there was a shift from what I really wanted to do. And so when you were talking earlier at the beginning about taking some knocks in life, I've had a couple little curves in my life here and there, and so what you were speaking about resonates a bit. So yeah, I took a turn at one point and decided on tech, and I never looked back, and I went really hard. It's kind of led me to here. So everything from creative director role in design to doing in a drag race team, to I worked for Apple for a while in sales. And
A drag race team?
yeah, I worked at a drag race team. Yeah, yeah.
What kind
North
of drag racing?
diesel trucks, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah, it was really
Nice.
great. So I got to do vehicle wraps and cool advertising, make some cool, apparel, and got to go to Texas and do some shoots at the racetracks. And so I kind of come from a background. I got to travel the globe a bit doing visuals for some local famous bands and stuff. So I've been through a little bit of everything tech at some point, everything graphical to right up to enterprise development. Yeah, it's been a
Nice.
great career.
Yeah, I was on a drag race team. I drag raced Harley Davidsons back in the
Oh,
day.
nice.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Hung that
Yeah,
up, but yeah, I was in the drag race scene for a while, and the land speed record scene out here in Southern
nice.
California.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
we
had a
have a
little Mustang that I tuned out there quite nice, and spent a good 7 years of my life married to that car. And yeah, kids came along, so I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to soup up that old wagon out there.
That's what stopped me too. My bike sat in the garage for like 3-4 years. We had the first kid, and then sat in there. I was kicking my ankles on it all the time, and then I was
Mhm.
just looking at it one day, going, I don't even want to go ride you anymore. I'm
Yeah,
kind of done with that. And I had a couple friends that got killed on the road, and I was like, yeah, I can't do that to the family anymore. I need to get off the two
yeah.
wheels and put it away. So
Yeah,
yeah.
man. I in my day when I was at the kind of like in my younger youthful years, I was that guy. I was jumping out of airplanes and off of bridges and backcountry snowboarding. I had a horrible snowboard accident in Montana. Spent 2 months in ICU. That was a
Oh,
doozy on Big Sky Resort there in Montana. And
hmm.
yeah, man, I was that guy. So you start waking up and the things hurt, and you got the kids, and you think, yeah, it's probably time to stop.
Yeah, yeah. And then it catches up to you around 45, 50 years old. Then it's like, oh, I did all that to
Yeah,
that. Oh,
yeah. Yeah, it's a
okay.
bit of a badge of honor. Every scar is a badge of honor, right?
Exactly. Except when nobody's around to look at
Yeah.
them. Right on. So then you said Apple. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, yeah, no. So I
After
did
that, yeah.
I did Apple, and then I did the diesel drag racing. I worked at an architecture firm doing proposal writing. And then eventually I ended up just kind of, getting into doing my own contract work. I worked for a couple companies in the tech scene, everything from websites to all the way up to, most recently working in aerospace. Because, at one point, sitting behind a desk building websites for Jane's Spa or whatever, it gets kind of old after you've done some really fun stuff. You kind of look for those challenges. So, and I missed flying. So there was a point that I reached out to the local flying college and started working just one shift a week, back shift, just to get around the planes, man. I just wanted to smell the fuel, just wanted to, touch the plane
Ah,
and be in that life again. And well, I just being me, I guess I started seeing some systems that were flawed. So I built some software and pitched it to them, and they still use it there to this day. And before you know it, I was running the department. So I was the chief flight dispatcher. for quite a while. And then because of the parent company that owns them, there was an aerospace division of the airline. And so word kind of spread, and I ended up moving over there where I do like, front end and microservices and a bit of full stack. And yeah, a lot of cool stuff. We do basically surveillance, intelligence, reconnaissance type stuff, but we just don't do like weaponry and stuff. But I'm here now. Web3 is kind of what looking like the future holds. So yeah, it's been
yeah.
fun.
Yeah. No, I worked in that industry too. I was a millwright for about 30 years, and spent a lot of time at Boeing, Lockheed, SpaceX,
Okay.
Skunk Works. I worked at Skunk Works for a long time.
Wow.
Uh, so I did a lot of work. And yeah, it wasn't anything important. I just picked things up and put them down. I moved heavy equipment, so all the mills, presses, lathes, things like that, grinders,
Still a
all the
cool
stuff they
scene
had.
to be around, man. What a
Yeah,
cool
it's just
scene.
oh yeah, it was very cool. Working when the drone programs were just starting, tearing down the shuttle program. Worked a lot on doing that, and then of course, helping at SpaceX while Elon was bringing the new stuff out and doing it privately versus the government stuff. So yeah, it was cool. It was a real cool scene.
Nice.
You know what it's like. It's a very very happy place to work. Those people who get paid well that do those kinds of things. Yeah, back in those days, it was like a happy place. I remember back in the 90s, walking into these big aerospace companies, and everybody was just smiling, and
Yeah.
they weren't
It's cool when you
overworked.
do meaningful work, right? When you feel like you're doing stuff that matters, it really kind of that's the reward, really.
Yeah,
And so
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. Let me say thanks here. Waffle Medigen gave us $10. Thanks, Waffle. Appreciate you. The Tang Gang Shown creators, they could create and be appreciated for what they do best. The outsiders are beginning to realize they have the power. There is no spoon. Okay, thanks.
DJ Muffles. Yeah, thanks, buddy.
So so you're working, you're in the industry. What brought you into this kind of Web3 NFT space and got you going in the crypto area?
Yeah, just more or less started with a creative project, just kind of testing the waters. I think I was, the usual nerd curious, like I have been my whole life. I see it in the news. I see, new tech. I want to play with it. So I got into NFTs, and it was more of, a hobby. And I kind of came across some projects that they just kind of made me laugh. I didn't understand like how, so I just kind of set on a little mission to I'm going to take some time and do some cool stuff here and see if I can't, explore, and at the same time, maybe make a difference as far as, me and my friends would say, like, if we just get in and we do enough good work, it'll push the bad work out. And that's,
Mm.
that was the core of what could we really do here in small amounts that would maybe help steer a positive mindset around growing this space productively, as opposed to helter skelter, bag go up, everybody, VCs going around taking advantage of everybody and that kind of stuff. So it was organic that I started. And so I started building Dracatis, which is a very ambitious project that, I mean, I'm not going to get into that one. That's a whole nother show, but it's really going to be cool. And so this is where Tang Talk kind of stemmed out of, because some of the tech that I've been experimenting with for Dracatis, last week I sit in my pajamas, man, and I have this idea, and it's like, I think okay, let me try it. And it stemmed off of this Drac tech. And yeah, it's kind of, the past week's been a bit of a blur, man, but I gotta say, I don't think any of this, what's happened, would have happened without the Tang Gang. And I appreciate you mentioning them, but I'm going to speak to, so the industry, we know what the industry's like, and I've been courted every which way from Sunday in the past week. And in the past 2 years, never got any attention, when I was really a year and a half ago using the primitives of what I'm doing now. And nobody took note. I did pitches, man. My whole life has been building presentations and big, jobs and stuff. And I did everything. I applied to foundations. I talked to investors. I went to angels. I've been build, and just, I live it, and nothing. And when this happened, I got all the grills, man, from every which angle, and I could smell the 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 ill intentions were circling in some, well, and maybe I shouldn't label too much, but yeah, it started to get really weird. And I've heard so many promises over the course of my time in this space, and they've all usually come with empty promises. And I have to say, the Tang Gang, it was incredible the amount of time from when I'm sitting there at 6 a.m. in the morning in my pajamas, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. Let me call up a buddy and show him what I did. Degen Waffles. And Degen says, oh my God, do you realize what you've done? And I was like, well, yeah, I've been doing it for about a year and a half. But yeah, like, this is the more advanced, and he sees it and he knows me well. So he knows what I'm capable of. And before you know it, we've got Orange Gooey on a call, we've got Bullish on a call, we've got my right hand man Art, and Art with Heart, and it's just, everyone's excited instantly. So the thing was that I was so impressed with these guys in deciding how I was going to accept any help from a community or any one or two or three individuals after hearing so much kind of false promises. These guys, I've never in the 2 years seen a team pull off so exactly what they promised without hesitation, without sidewalling or anything. There was no sketchiness, and the entire time, we're going to make it so you can do you, Drac. You've done something really cool here. You've come to us. You've taken us on, and I mean, what they did was absolutely magical in comparison to any VC that's been out there swinging his name and talking big dollars and just hold up and just wait. These guys came in and they're like, you got something hot, let's swing for the fences. And it's so my analytical mind cannot doubt these guys, because the data in front of me historically dictates that they're batting 1,000. So they're on point, and I'm absolutely floored at the support of the community. And guys like Foods, that I'm doing a collection with for the Gooskins, and we've got Gooey and Degen and Art with Heart and all these guys that are always surrounding me, that if we come from the Chia crowd, and it's this eclectic group of like-minded people, and the Tang Gang is just, yeah. So I don't know, man. I'm here in the past week being onboarded onto Pulse, and from the outside, I gotta say, I looked in before and was like, but some of the most intelligent people that I've spoken to in the space, that are very understanding that they're not locked into this tech. There's opportunities across all. They know how to reach out, and I think because of the way that we're building our tech to be chain agnostic and add these layers of utility and use case for people, the ethos and mindset of this group matches perfectly with our product. So I think it's just a perfect marriage at this point. It's been really good.
That's what I like to hear. And I think that this is a growth phase in this community's development, and we're branching off, and so we started out with some good roots. 6 years ago, when Richard was talking about bringing DeFi to the table, and launching the first decentralized crypto that was going to be fully immutable, no middlemen. You're going to be able to do things with it that no one else is being able to do in crypto. It started there with roots, and then he did it without any hemming and hawing, and it took him a while, and it took him time, and his devs had to fight adversity and all that kind of stuff, and it launched, and there it was, fully immutable decentralized finance crypto that we had never seen before. And so the community rallied around it and started to grow. And again, like you said, the smartest of people from within the crypto space kind of magnetized towards it, and it kept growing and kept growing. And one, roadblock after another, it bowled over. It tore down mountains. It changed the whole. It started to change the whole landscape of crypto so much that everything came at this community, from the coin aggregators and ranking sites to centralized exchanges to crypto influencers, they all came at us, and we're still standing here, and we're still building, and we're still growing, and we're about to punch through the noise. And I think that the Tang gang and what they've done is just the next step of that. They actually took the marketability of a community and put it to use and turned it into a hive collective, you know, and I really like that. I like what they've done. I like what the leadership's done. I like seeing what's happening, and it's more. It's just organic growth of a community that is marketing, you know, crypto technology, and your technology is proof that there's a space for it, that there are needs and use cases and product market fit that these products can fit into. And I want to hear about your product now. I want to know what it is that what is your product? Explain it to us.
So the product right now is all of a week old. It's called Tang Talk. And it really, what it is a new way of thinking about how to build your NFT as far as a presentation layer within either the gallery or the wallet or whatever you're looking at. And it really, as it sits now, is, you know, it's kind of playful. You know, it's pretty wide open. It's an open text room that you chat from NFT to NFT. So right in your gallery view of whatever marketplace you're viewing, you can send text within the community if you own that token. You've got to kind of do this little validation. And so if you're, in my case, token number 0, I can text, and it's in line within the thumbnails of the marketplace. And so right now, as it sits, is this open room, and everybody's having a lot of fun and wondering, you know, what are you going to do with it? What I can tell you is it's the beginning of a change in the paradigm as far as how we make NFTs and what it means to have one in your wallet and how do you use it. And instead of having to hop around from site to site, it's essentially injecting utility right within the view there. And so that's all well and fine, and it's essentially just some clever use of some stuff that's already been there. I like to think of myself as a bit of like a coding artist, so I like to stitch things together and play and come up with unique ways of, you know, so there's not a lot of special sauce there. But when you see the long road ahead, and so some of my more serious tech development is done over on the Chia blockchain. And that's because of people like Michael Taylor and Ace Vale, who are, I mean, Michael Taylor specifically in Data Layer, which is part of the Chia blockchain, is doing some really astounding stuff as far as laying the groundwork for what could be, or what will be, a more decentralized and censorship resistant internet as we know it. It's a whole nother conversation. But because of the way that they're doing that, we know a way that we can do more like a continuous delivery of almost like in NFT apps. So the style that the marketplace is used to, as far as, this is my iPhone, I get an update and my app has new cool things, you'll be able to do similar within just the marketplace, or ideally wallets will adopt it too. Marketplaces, it's pretty easy for them to adopt it. We've already have a whole bunch that have, and they work really well. But it will eventually be a much larger. So I'll let you kind of let the imaginations run a little bit. But what ends up happening underneath the hood is we use essentially data layer is the goal for the storage, the data storage, and so on. But then there's essentially an L2 cache that works alongside it, so that we have an offline first focused consensus system that will connect users on like a mesh network, and it can use many different ways of storage. But by using the sandbox that is the browser and local storage and things like IndexedDB, we can use the browser storage in a secure sandbox and create a mesh network that way. You know, I'm dumbing it down here, like simplifying it, but that's the core of it. So when we have that foundation, and then we have things like data layer that back it up in this way that is far superior to something like IPFS, then we end up with the potentials for content delivery and censorship resistance and decentralized data, along with verifiable credentials, and it's chain agnostic. So and so is data layers.
So
Data layers.
let me dumb this down. We'll get right into data.
Yep.
Let me dumb this down what you've said already. So you've said a lot, and you are a tech. I mean, you are a tech. Now,
Sorry, man.
I
Did I get
grabbed
too
just
dirty
enough
there?
of it. My audience is people from all walks of life. So so let me, when you, because you were saying words that a lot of people don't even understand. For instance, sandboxing. That's to you and I, that's a term that we understand, but a lot of people don't. So what you're telling me is that your NFT will sit on a browser as an icon that they could launch into, and it'll operate almost like a cell phone that has applications on it that they'll be able to tap into a network of other folks that are involved in this in a secure and decentralized manner that operates actually safer and better than IPFS. Am I correct?
Correct. And right within the NFT. And then you'll be able to use it many other ways too. There's alternate ways, but we're basically taking decentralized tech that exists in the Web 2 world for a long time, and we're putting it to really good use with the great Web 3 tech, if you want to look at it that way. And the marriage of the two, they both have their own consensus system. We've just figured out a really intelligent way to leverage that, so that you have a way more of a user experience that it's just not seen yet. So we can get very creative. We can connect systems all within that thumbnail. So for the user who even just likes to, well, I just buy and trade pictures, these can just be pictures as well, but they can be interactive. They can be enhanced. There can be UIs. We can even change the utility on the fly. So you could your purchased NFT from XYZ community can do one feature one day, and the next day can have a whole different utility, because you can do like a content delivery method. So yeah, it's going to be a really dynamic, engaging experience right within the NFT.
So with simplifying it, I don't, and definitely not an insult or anything, simplifying it down to like, hey, this is a sandboxed cell phone and computer
The cell
and
phone
networking
part,
system.
the cell phone part, there's the Tang gang and me myself. So like I said, I have that serious Chia side, but then I'm a dev. I'm a guy, I'm like a DJ, and like anyone else, I want to go have some fun, right? And that Pulse community, especially the Tang gang, they're a lot of fun, man. I just have fun. I don't get into politics and whatever. I like to lay low. I like to get up and talk and have fun too, but the phone thing is just that. It's like, it gives me a vehicle. It was, when I'm noodling out an idea, it's much nicer to have what feels like a practical application, as opposed to a flat screen with buttons and inputs and outputs, right? I try to always vision in my head like a practical use. And when I'm working with features like streaming audio and video, and I'm picturing what does that feel and look like, that's kind of where the phone, and of course we get to spin it, we all get to have fun, we get to hype it, you can be a little creative about it. And the token number, the joke has kind of become, that's our extension. So it's, call me up on token 0, and we have all this great, and that's a big element of it. And that's a part that often I can get swamped with serious work, and I miss out sometimes, and so very much intentionally have leaned in to the Grove and to the Tang gang and PulseChain. I've been onboarded to PulseChain this week. So I'm looking forward to it all. It's been really exciting.
Good. Right on. Well, I'm glad you were able to explain it, and and I thought at first, hey, what a novel idea, a NFT that you can chat with or whatever, and but now that you've explained it, it's like no, this thing is really more like the first iteration of the cell phone. We were going to have all kinds of applications and all this interoperability between things and cross-chain operability. So that's this is very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, you're going to be able to, and so we have some talented devs who work on the team, and so where it is now is this fun little playful thing, right? And the community saw the value in it, so basically have fundraised you know, everything I need and provided all the support I need to take this from like the little, you know, the fun Tang Gang, Tang Talk, you know, open room kind of posting that it is, to a more serious product where there's end-to-end encryption, there's security, and there's going to be some really great features in it, and it'll be locked in the appropriate ways, you know, so that people have certain things they can do, like direct messaging, token to token across chains. You know, so you could be on Pulse and I'm over on Chia, and I could look up and say, well, send PulseChain token number 47 this message. Off it goes. And so we can, for the first time, just use our tokens to communicate, and it can be decentralized, and we don't have to worry about any, you know, TikToks, you know, free bullish, Elon, free bullish. And so yeah, it's and there's a lot of this that's experimental in some ways. We're pushing boundaries here. So for me, that's the real fun. That's where I had a bit of cat and mouse kind of feeling when I put this quick version out and the community starts jumping in and hacking with it, playing with it. It's like, oh, now I'm the Apple and I got to patch it, you know? And so as a dev, it scratches that itch for me to have some fun and be playful with the code and the community. They've been unreal supportive. So yeah, there's a lot of features to come, man. Look out for it for sure.
So without, you know, revealing anything, tease us as to something very, very cool, life-changing, or replacing a product that's already in existence to us that it could possibly handle.
So I'll give you a good example. So, you know, how Zoom's kind of changed some of their terms and stuff. So they're basically sniffing out everything you're talking about and using AI to process it, stealing IP, whatever they're doing. Sorry, Zoom, not sorry. What can I say? Yeah. So, I mean, that's an example, and that should give some indicators. Yeah.
Gotcha. So actual protection and security of people's information, meetings, IP, that is not afforded to them in some of today's products that are out there that we're all willingly, freely, and always using. I mean, I was on a Zoom call 2 days ago with my developers, you know, and so, I mean, and so you're saying that we're all exposed when it comes to this stuff now.
Yeah, well, these companies are sneaky. We all know that, right? And I mean, I think that's a core reason why a lot of us are here, is for that self-sovereignty, that self-custody of your assets, of your personal information, and that's, you know, an ethos that I jive with, man. Like, I mean, I want to lean into that, and I do that across multiple chains because I don't want to be pigeonholed. I want to, you know, look all around for the solutions for everyone. So I don't tend to pick and choose. I'm just here to do good work and make a difference. And some of these tools, I think the space runs past really fast sometimes, and overlooks some tools that could be employed to everyone's advantage. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do here, basically.
Let me jump into the chat again real quick and say thanks to Spooky for the Tang Talks are the communication. What Tang Gang is to me, Tang Talks are to me, raise what Tang Gang is to me. Coins $20. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. So now, see, I worked for the Death Star telecommunications company, and saw the security breaches back in, you know, I worked there right during 9/11, and I saw what was going on there with security breaches and what information was being removed and sent off and whatnot. I don't know if you remember all that going on. So this is definitely something that's needed. So you're telling me that this has maybe even the capability. I'm just like thinking out of the box, just kind of let my imagination run now. This could be like whole IP phone systems for company could be developed on top of this, for instance.
Well, I don't know. There's a lot. there's a lot of room to explore. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
There's a lot of room to explore. I will say, my friends and I you go back to when I was saying I was an 80s kid, you know, I'm tinkering with toys. My friends and I now here I am at 42, and we were playing with walkie-talkies the other night. So let's just, you know, and it was a fun little experiment. And so we're pushing some boundaries. We're playing with toys. I'm trying not to make promises. One of the great things about working with the community that I am, they've really embraced, like, let's just get this guy funded and see what he can do. And so I'm working really hard for them to produce whatever I can that brings value. And the great thing is whatever I build for them, we can take to just about any other chain. So we're all working together to change the norm. And what is the norm for NFTs? And I think we've done it. And we're only scratching the surface. Yeah.
Yeah. This is, and so you're new to PulseChain. You're new to this community. You're obviously not new to the tech space and building and developing, doing what you've done and built. I don't know how involved you were in the crypto space before, but I've been running around the world talking to Web3 companies, talking to NFT artists and whatnot. And this was, you know, a year and a half before, you know, PulseChain launched. And I was running around screaming with my hair on fire saying, hey, DeFi is coming, Web3 is coming, Web3 is coming. This is going to allow you to bring your products to fruition. All these great developers and imaginations and minds and people that were out there trying to develop this stuff weren't able to pull it off because of Ethereum's fees and how hard it was to get their product onboarded onto Ethereum. And then all the other chains were just dead all the time. They died once or twice a month, screwing up programs, not having any backup, not having any support to bring them in for product development, marketing, and all that kind of stuff. And I dealt with lots of different companies that have experienced that in the space. And then I said, no, we're not going to have that problem. We're going to have a cheap to use, cheap to launch L1 that is going to be, you know, all the things that everything else is censorship resistant, but it's going to scale. It's going to stop high fees from running out of control right off the bat and all that. Did you see that when you came here? Did you see this as a very comfortable space? And on top of that, we had a marketing team, the Tang Gang, that embraced you and I've seen them embrace others and attempt to bring them in with nothing really. There was no you know, marketing budget. There was no payments necessary. It was like, hey, we're going to help you help yourself and throw us a bone, throw us a free NFT or something, maybe every once in a while. And that was, you know, their marketing plan. Did you see that? Did this all come together for you because of PulseChain and these guys and the marketing?
I think it was a big part of it. It's all come together because, I mean, it really started back. I don't know if you know the name Hash Lips over on the ETH side of things. He's a pretty well-known artist, and he and I just had a really nice conversation one day, which planted a seed in my head. And then I ran into some really talented devs, and I mentioned the seed to them, and we just kind of talked about it. And, you know, there was the usual just chitter chatter. We hang out and pair code, otherwise hang out and talk business and work for, 12 hours. And we just kind of, noodled a couple ideas around. And then, it's, sorry, I'm rambling a little bit, but it's been overwhelming. And Tang Gang and the whole chain, the whole Pulse community has been really welcoming. And so I've also felt that in the Chia community. In ETH, no, I'll be honest with you, I had a horrible time in the ETH space. It's a little more number go up chaser. It's a little more degenning, outside my comfort zones. Kind of ran into some bad actors along the way, had some bad experiences. But I found like a community and a home in Chia. There was some crossover with some friends of mine with Pulse already. So I was exposed to a bit. And when I came in, they embraced me. I feel blessed. I don't know what else to say, but and so I think without them, I think I would have been left holding another bag of IP with a VC or an investor making promises while figuring out how to get their sticky fingers on it, right? And these guys haven't asked for anything in return other than my dedication to the project, which I show up every day for everything. I'm here. They all know me. I'm not going anywhere. And I've been living, there is no separation between work and play and building. It's just, it's day to day, man. Like, it just, like, if you're going to build a Harley, right? If that's your thing, it's not work. You just can't not doing it, right? It's fun. So I don't play a lot of video games. I'd rather build them. And these guys take the marketing side serious. So when they came around, it's given me an opportunity to kind of speak out about, the foundational stuff that Michael Taylor's doing, the great work, that my buddy Acevale does, all the great work they do over here at Tang Gang. And there's really this collective across multiple chains, a lot of people that have been hanging out together for a few years now. And it's a collective effort. And these guys have really kind of like tipped the scale. Like, they've really put the freaking nitrous in the tank, man. And yeah, I can smell the ethanol in the air.
Yeah, right on it. No, I'm from the beginning, when I saw the first time that at first they were just this loud group of guys throwing oranges everywhere. And it was like, who are these guys? What the hell is going on here? And then I saw some of my buddies that were in there throwing oranges around, like, oh my gosh, what is this thing going on? And then I started, to kind of dig in and talk to some of the leadership and see what was going on over there. And the more and more I, got into it, the more and more I liked what I was seeing. I liked the grassroots, real organic community development, bringing projects to. I was like, this is exactly what PulseChain needs. This needs a community of robust, loud people, marketing and lifting people up that are doing the work and embracing them so that they can feel comfortable and go do the work that they want to do and have fun doing it. And that makes better products. It makes a better community. It makes better marketing. It just drives everything in the direction that we want to see blockchain and crypto go. I mean, because it's for so long, it's been bastardized by all of these other people. I mean, you and I have been in it for a while, seeing what's been going on. It's 99% of it out there is garbage. And you know what? And give me your take on this, since I've got a real dyed-in-the-wool developer here in front of me. My argument for the crypto space is, hey, Bitcoin, proof to concept. Thank you. Double spend, gone. We can do a peer-to-peer transaction securely over the internet without an intermediary. Cool, bitching, but tech sucks. Hard to build on it. Every time they open it up, they bring out a bug. The Rube Goldberg machine, they tried to build around it, and it always fails, doesn't work. Big giant bags are held by people. Now even bigger people are holding bigger bags of this stuff. Yeah. So of course they want to keep the narrative running so they can keep making their money. Ethereum, hey, gave us an opportunity to show the world that we can program this crypto shit to do cool stuff. Yay, next iteration, but didn't scale, didn't fix itself properly. Politics within it are sucky. Still on the proof of work mechanism, blah, 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 blah. And then Hex, PulseChain, PulseX come out, true DeFi. Let's run it on validators versus mining. Let's make it truly decentralized, not your keys, not your coins. Let's build an organic community under it. With everybody, none of us are getting paid. In fact, we're all putting our money, our time, our effort into this thing to make it a better place. That's like the proofing grounds or the fertile soil for blossoming crypto for real. Is that your take on this? Do you see that crypto has been just kind of a cesspool until now, and we're starting to see kind of the beginnings of a new dawning?
I think it's maturing for sure. I think everybody was really chasing the next shiny thing. I think greed is an ugly head on anyone, and it was everywhere. And I think there's ups and downs, and I think it's on all of us to kind of like take some self-responsibility for who you hang out with and what you say and what you do on the internet, right? Like it's hard to, I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly, and it's hard to point fingers. I find my journey through this space, it's always been easier on my head to just say, you know what, I allowed that into my circle somehow, and I'm just going to move on. And it's a big, wide, open ocean of possibilities in crypto, and you don't really, like the noise. I hear what you're saying. Once I experienced the worst of it for my time, it was just like, no, I'm just never going to deal with that again. That's just crazy. So if you get a thick skin on you, I think it gets easier, but the on ramping is, it's rocky, man. And when you look at, and so I'm not like I said earlier, as a dev, it's use case specific for me. I think there can be a use case for any chain. I moved to Chia because I liked the way that they did their coin model. I was turned off by the centralized contract format and the way that scams were being run. And as a developer and a true blooded nerd, I take great offense to a lot of the junk and the terrible teachings and the scammers and the, it just was not my thing. And I've really kind of taken it a personal challenge to step every step with purpose and with integrity. And I've tried to be, I've made enemies along the way. I can't make everybody happy.
We all have.
Yeah, take a number, right? Like take a number. I don't know what to tell you. So it is what it is, and I think everybody's going to hit their lumps. But like anything in business, like, are you going to let it stop you? Because if you're here for a shill or you're here for a quick flip, then yeah, you're probably going to get knocked around. But once people see you here for a while, once you've put that effort in, the waters get calmer, man, and then the support is there to lift you up. And you cannot come into this space and expect to have all of what these people have and not put the work in. I mean,
Exactly.
You're gonna get lucky. Go to the casino. Like, I don't know, but if you're here to build, and you're here to build, even if it's build community, make art, do code, I don't care. But if you do it ethically and you find something that works for you, just run with it. Because a big part of the space is people say they're building and then they're not building, or they say they can and they don't, or they make there's a whole there's a lot of noise. But when you find, and it takes time, that's the biggest ingredient in all of it, is being prepared for when the moment comes, because you've put the time in, right? Like, it's just, yeah.
Time in the market, not timing the market, right?
What's that?
Time in the market, not timing the market, right?
Yeah, precisely, man, precisely. And so I don't really care too much about number go up. For myself, it's just about the building, man. I'm a true builder at heart. I've done some cool things. My buddy and I, my buddies and I won't tell you the backstory. Maybe off channel, I'll tell you the real story for how this came about. But a couple of buddies of mine early on, I got that entrepreneur bug. We got a product on Dragon's Den. It's like the Canadian Shark Tank. And we got a product and they took it. And so that was like after flight school. And that was like this. So now I have this forever bug that lives inside me to just build, right? And so number go up is nice. Community is much more valuable. And so once you put the time in, and the smooth sailing happens, then it's really cool to be chilling on that boat with your pals. Right?
Yeah, I think you and I got the same mindset when it comes to that, because it's like, you work hard, you chug hard, you do all these things that you hope that are going to make you successful and bring value to the world, and you do it with your integrity and all that, and then it happens, and you get paid for it. You actually make it finally, chasing the dollar and the dollar, you finally find it and catch it or whatever. But then after it's caught, you look around you and you say, well, wait a second, I did something good here. And that felt even better than the money does. And the byproduct I know now is from building better community, building around these things, putting better products out, and continuing to keep my integrity and do the things that make me feel good about myself, put my head on my pillow at night and feel good about myself. And the byproduct of that is number go up. So let's just keep doing it, because I enjoy doing it. I feel good doing it, and I'm contributing,
Yes.
And that's what I feel like here. And the money is a byproduct now of all of it. And the money's the easy part, really. I know there's a lot of people out there who will be like, you're fucking crazy, RG. No, we want the money. It's hard to get the money. I'm telling you guys, once you've done the right thing for long enough in the right area with the right thing, it happens. It comes. It's just in abundance, and it doesn't stop, and it just continues. And as long as you keep doing the right thing and going out there and developing relationships and building community and making yourself a better person, your community around you a better person, the byproduct is that money just keeps flowing in.
My dad and my mom instilled in me early on that just do what you love, the money will come. It's just I've got, you know, a couple credos in my life, a few things that I live by, and that just is one of them. And so that's what I've done for 20 some years. And my parents have heard every pitch under the sun for every job, you know, everything from pitching them that I'm going to tear this RC car apart when I was 8 to every pitch that, you know, I've taken into VCs. They're my, you know, my practice. So I've irritated them to the ends of the earth with all of my nerding over the years. But that was one of those things they taught me, is just do what you love. And so flying was something that I loved. It was unfortunate that I didn't get to do it the career that I was hoping, but I've always kept it in my life. And the only other thing I've known is tech, man. This is just what I love. So I do hardware tinkering and you know, God, the list is long, the things that I've done. So it's been fun. And so this is a whole new chapter for me, and I'm really excited about it. I mean, you're my first podcast. This is, you know,
right on. Yes.
and so this is you know, I was sitting, I'm literally having my feet up on my desk like I did a week ago when I noodled this idea out, like I do every morning. And it's funny to have it hit, and it's really nice to know when you're building something and it doesn't hit, you're always wondering, well, maybe they don't want it. I mean, the answer is clear here. People want it. So, okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just easy. It's like, okay, you want it. So I'm going to build it. Like,
I'm going to tell you, I hardly knew what it was. I knew I wanted it. And then as I started to find out what it was, I'm like, I definitely want it. And now I'm like, I can't wait to get it. Damn it.
Yeah.
And why don't I have it yet? So great.
Well, wait till we go on to other chains. I mean, Chia's next. We can do this for any project. Like, you can have an existing NFT project. We can spin up your own white labeled version, and we don't even need. We just need contracts, ABIs, the usual things. And so there is a really cool point that's going to come when I'm sitting over in my Chia marketplace. I'm on Mint Garden, say, and I'm through my token buzzing my buddy over on PulseChain, who's got the same, like, through the Tang Talk phone. It's going to be pretty cool, man. That's going to be a real cool milestone. And when that happens, people, I think, are going to click then just what we're doing. It's going to be a lot more obvious how far this is going to go. Yeah. I mean, it's only 1,000 of them now. And so they're pretty limited, man. And they're, yeah, I'm sorry you didn't get one. I wish I had one to give you. I only have number 0. I already gave all of them away to like team and key people that support me, and so I'm just known as the operator now. You know, dial me up. You know, you can call me on my tank phone on you know, extension 0.
No, bro, I fully endorse and back every project. I don't ask anybody to give me anything. I'm going to go in fact, my whole team's going to get them. I'm going to get them for my whole team because they want them, they deserve them, and I really want to get involved in this product. So, Drac, thanks for coming on, man. We've been on for an hour. I appreciate it. I know it's late over there. You coming in late. We got to follow up. I got to know what you got going on next with this stuff. So, promise me you get to hang out. We're going to get to talk to you again soon.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You know, if you don't mind, I'd say that, you know, I'm working with a friend in the community. So I've got a smaller project coming out, Gooskins. It's a fun art project, but it employs kind of the mindset and the technique that we're doing for some. So it's like an early, if people are curious and you want to, that's another good way to kind of poke around my code if you wanted to. And so I'm looking forward to playing some more. So anything that we're doing, feel free. If you want an update, just give me a ring and I'll come tell you all about it.
Will do. Right on, Drac. Anything else you want to leave anybody with? Any information?
Just want to say thanks to the crew. Y'all know who you are. I'm not going to do the list. You know who you are. So I appreciate it. And thank you for having me on, Captain. This is really fun, man.
Right on, bro. It's good to have you. Hey, would you mind hanging out for just a few minutes in the green room while I shut down? Cool,
yeah,
man.
Sure, man.
All right, my brother. Glad you're here. Take care. Best of luck to you on your project.
Thanks.
Right on, right on. All right, everybody. Real quick, I want to let everybody know Saturday, February 17th is the Houston, Texas meetup when real estate meets crypto. So we're going to have some of the DGen roundtable guys there helping us out. So most speakers, they've spent both sides on either the coin side or real estate side. So we're going to have a good conversation out there. That's going to be David Moondog Durr, Corey Geary will be there from DGen Roundtable. VIP is going to have a bunch of awesome things to do on the 18th. So Danny the Singer will be there. He just came out and visited me. He's on his way up to Big Bear right now, hanging out, having a good time. Let's see. Vegas. Guys, you have until February 2nd to get your rooms set up for Vegas. Don't miss the block of rooms to get your rooms in Vegas. It's going to be a badass time. We're going to have Wednesday, March 6th. So it's March 6th through the 9th, 369. Wednesday, March 6th is going to be a Top Golf meetup, social time, food, drinks, all that's taken care of, hanging out at Top Golf. Day 2 Thursday is March 7th. That's going to be VIP day with content creators, VIPs, all going to be hanging out, doing cool stuff in Vegas. We have activities and all your meals are included that day too. Friday, March 8th is going to be the big PulseChain Pitch Fest. First of all, it's going to be the seminar. You're going to have your favorite influencers and people in the Hex community, probably some Tang gangers in there. Pitching the, doing the seminar, and then we're going to have the Pitch Fest. So anybody, hey, same with you, Drac, you guys can be involved in this too. PulseChain Foundation is putting out a Pitch Fest. So come pitch your idea on PulseChain. Best pitcher is going to get, I think it's like a $2,500 grant from the Pulse Foundation, PulseChain Foundation. Oh, there it is, the Pitch Fest. And you've signed up there on pulsechain.com, right? Pulsechain.com. Yep. And that's where you apply it. Deadline is February 1st to get into the Pitch Fest so that you can pitch your wares in Vegas with us. And that's it right there. So we're going to have all the speakers, RH Max, myself, DCC, Charlie from Cultivate Crypto is going to be there. PulseChain Foundation is going to do their own presentation. We're going to have an AMA with a panel of some experts. I'm going to be sitting in the back room watching them too. VIP dinner and after party held at a private venue. They changed the wording in this so that I do not mess up and say the name of the place, which really wasn't the name of the place. We'll be up in the club with the crypto community that night. So Saturday, March 9th, recovery day, brunch, and more info. Some cool stuff going to happen there. So there's only a few days, I think it's 5 days left to book your discounted hotel block rate. So the last day to book these rates is going to be February 2nd. All right, everybody. Thank you for coming. Appreciate you all. Right on, right on, right on. Aren't you glad? Aren't you glad I had this man on today so that you can find out about this cool stuff? I think this thing is going to be big. I really, my brain is twisted now. I think this is going to be big. This is one of the best things I've seen launch on PulseChain so far. All right, guys, thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Don't you forget tomorrow afternoon on Crypto Black Sheep show. I am going to be streaming with him tomorrow afternoon, 2:00 Pacific. Be streaming with Crypto Black Sheep, my bro from Vegas. All right, guys, have a good one. We'll see you all week. I'm going to be streaming, so I'm not even going to get into it. I think Wednesday we got one too. I'll catch up with you guys. Take care. See you. Why is Hex better than Bitcoin? Well, first of all, it's the fundamentals of the code. Fundamentals of code are better than Bitcoin's fundamentals. The inflation model is better than Bitcoin's inflation model. The staking feature is better than a mining feature. It's new tech versus old tech. It's decentralized versus centralized. Yes, all of those things.